Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Naomi.
Yo, this is Derik.
And today we're going to be talking about the Avengers Infinity War. So, do we even need to do a plot summary? I feel like everyone knows what the Avengers is.
I hope so.
If you're watching this, I hope you have some kind of idea, but...
Yeah, at least a vague idea, because I'm not even a big fan of superhero movies for the most part, and I knew basically who everybody was in the movie, so I feel like that's a good starting point. You should probably know.
As long as you know the characters, and the basic plot of this movie was that Thanos, really big bad guy, wants the Infinity Stones and is gonna take over the world.
Thanos is basically trying to collect these Infinity Stones to kill everybody. He wants to knock out half the universe so that everybody has enough resources to do what they need to do to survive. Some call him a villain, I call him a hero.
Oh my gosh. Alright, so I guess we should just get into our thoughts on the movie. This is going to be full of spoilers. I don't even know if we should bother doing spoilers.
We'll just start at this point. You should probably go see it.
If you haven't seen it by now, what are you doing?
Yeah, go see it. If you haven't seen it, go do that. Then come back and hear our spoiler review or discussion.
Yeah.
So, spoilers
ahead.
Now. Alright, so...
Okay, what did you think? Did you enjoy the movie?
So, I'm going to have to give a little disclaimer. We went to a theater, and it was full of just the most obnoxious and loud human beings. There were some children, young teens. I don't know how old these, like, they had to be girls or boys.
Yeah, they had very high-pitched
voices
voices.
Of small women. Either way, just squeaking the entire time, laughing at the dumbest stuff possible. Like, there was some humor in the movie.
There was a lot of humor. And every time there was, like, something you would chuckle at, they would die just laughing every single time.
And it ruined every time something funny would happen. I would literally just, like, clench up and be like, I want to fight somebody. Why is there humor? So, that's not great. So some of these... a lot of the more humorous aspects that we can't really comment on, because that was completely ruined for us by a bunch of... I think
it was more ruined for you than for me.
Okay,
I was able to ignore them.
Yeah, it was hard to ignore them. So just full disclaimer. But it was a good movie. So basically, my biggest thoughts from it. There were some flaws that definitely I feel held it back from being as good as some of. Because recently, I haven't watched a ton of superhero movies until recently. Mm-hmm. Recently, I've seen Spider-Man: Homecoming. I've watched Captain America. I've watched Black Panther. I've seen a few. And I don't think it was able to hold up to the level of those other movies. But it's not its fault. It's just when you have I can't say cluster.
You just did!
Whenever you have just like a grouping of all these people, it's hard to make it without some plot holes or some confusing parts. You just off the top of my head, and something that you probably shouldn't be thinking about this during a superhero movie. But, like, the power level of these superheroes is, like, vastly different. So, I understand they can't, like, make this obvious. But, like, Thor and Thanos should just be on a different level from everybody else. Like, the fact that some dude in just, like, a suit.
Iron Man?
Whether it's Iron Man or Black Panther or even those...
Well, Black Panther has powers.
Sort of, yes.
No, he has powers.
He does have powers, but not like he's not a god. Like
he's not Thor.
Exactly.
But he's not Iron Man.
I got you. But like basically everyone else, all the other heroes, maybe the Hulk when he's hulked out, which unfortunately we didn't get to see a ton of, but nobody is on the same level as Thanos or Thor. Which
so you just had a problem with the power differential.
Like, bruh, Star-Lord.
Yes.
Was fighting against Thanos.
Okay, actually, I learned some more about that. So, apparently, the reason why Star-Lord and, like, Spider-Man and all those people were able to, like, land punches on Thanos was because they were coordinating their attacks to keep him from closing his fist, which had the gauntlet, so he couldn't use the stones. So, like, the whole time, if you rewatch the scene, like, either Spider-Man has his webs on his thing, or Doctor Strange has his cape. So he can't use his hand the whole time, and then they're coordinating their attacks.
Oh.
So that actually makes sense how those people were able to land punches.
I caught it a couple times where they were trying to keep it.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that's what they were doing.
I get that part. I do think though that because there was a couple times where he did close his fist and punch some people.
Yeah. Anything after that, it doesn't make sense how anyone was able to get close.
They would have been
especially
dead.
When he can turn people like into ribbons.
Yeah.
Like, without doing anything.
Why did it ever become close? I don't know. Sticking to initial. There were some, I thought, plot holes and some things that were kind of not explained very well. But it was an enjoyable movie other than that. They did a very good job of trying to lace together like 10 different stories without you getting completely lost. Mm-hmm. So I thought it's hard to do because it's kind of all over the place, but it's inevitable just for the type of movie it is.
Okay. Well, I loved this movie. I thought it was amazing. I guess as someone who's seen way more superhero movies than you,
yeah.
I appreciated it more because I've seen all of these characters within their own movie. Mm-hmm. So seeing them together, it's one thing to have like a universe where you know people are supposed to be in the same universe, and it's another thing to actually see them interacting. Like, that has literally never happened in the history of movies, to have 18 movies build up to one movie where everyone is together. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a really good job getting all the, I guess, the quirks of each character from their own movies into this one. Like, even when they started off with the Guardians of the Galaxy and they had, like, the rock music playing, I was like, yes, this is amazing.
Or even with Spider-Man, they had his, like, sidekick friend from the movie.
Yes.
They included him for a little, like, cameo appearance in it. No, they did a very good job of being able to make all the characters feel like themselves.
Yeah.
And introducing them as themselves within the context of this huge, just giant group of superheroes coming together. So yeah, they did a really good job with that.
Considering how many characters there were and how many different storylines were going on, they did so well. Yeah. It could have really been like a show. It could have really been a show. Yeah. I was trying to censor myself.
No, it's definitely hard to do. And although I did say a negative was that there was so much going on, in a weird way, it's also a positive how they did it. It's just inevitable with this type of movie, and they did it about as well as you could handle. Everything that Suicide Squad did terribly, they managed to pull off.
And Suicide Squad didn't even have that many characters.
Yeah,
they had like 5.
They couldn't pull off 5. This one pulled off a ton of different characters, which was really cool. It was nice to see that handled well.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into, I guess, nitpicks. Now that we've gone over our thoughts.
We'll nitpick a little bit. We'll get into our favorite thing, like what moment, what about it we love the most, and then kind of go from there into our final review. So nitpicks, I'll let you go first since I kind of previewed what I was going to say.
So first of all, there were too many instances where people were not willing to kill people to protect the freaking Infinity Stones. Are you kidding me? No one wanted to kill Vision this entire movie. Yeah. No one thought that was an option.
That was number one on my list of poor decision making.
Y'all,
that was bad.
The fate of the universe.
Yeah. Kill one dude. Yeah. Who's willing?
Who was willing to die? Come on. Okay, that freaking Star-Lord punching Thanos in the face because he couldn't keep it together. That burned me up so much when I watched it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, 100%. That was just that. I don't understand what his decision making was in that. Well, the worst part was he had just kind of accepted the fact that she's gonna die when he tried to shoot her and bubbles came out, and now she's dead. And all of a sudden, like, I understand him being pissed, but like,
wait until the gauntlet's off.
Yeah,
and then you can beat him.
Mess that whole situation up. I'm with you. That was
so annoying. So stupid. Yeah. And then Doctor Strange giving up the freaking...
No, that makes perfect sense.
Does it?
Yeah. I think you just missed part of the plot there. So basically what happened was Doctor Strange he looked into his little future thing and saw however many millions of different scenarios, and he said one is going to work out. And they made this I thought they made it kind of obvious enough without like just throwing it at you. 5 minutes before in the movie, he had said, if it comes down to the Infinity Stone, or you Iron Man or you Spider-Man, I'm going to let both y'all die, so that I can make sure the stone doesn't get to him. Literally 5 minutes before. All of a sudden he has a vision. Doesn't say anything to anyone. And he's all quick to give up the Infinity Stone without saying anything to anyone. So he clearly knows that giving up this Infinity Stone is part of the path that leads to that one scenario where everything works out. So I don't think that was a bad decision. I think it was just made that was what he saw in the future. That was his one path.
Okay. I missed that. But that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Vision still...
That one still doesn't make any sense to me.
But yeah. Also, I guess this is not really a nitpick so much as I wish I could have seen more. Yeah. I mean, I guess that is a nitpick. But Thanos and Gamora's relationship, I think was supposed to be a lot more emotional than it ended up being for me, just because we hadn't seen them interact at all before this movie.
Have they not interacted at all before this movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, because if that was the case, I just had assumed that in a movie I hadn't seen they interacted more, because then I would agree with you.
That's what I assumed too. And I assumed that also about Gamora and Star-Lord's relationship, because they had never been like a fully blown relationship.
They kind of like...
They were like flirty moving into full relationship. Yeah. Same thing with Vision and Scarlet Witch. They were flirty moving into full relationship, and this movie just threw them all.
Assumed that it progressed a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, then let me get real quick into my last nitpick, and then we can get into some positives.
Sure.
So, my last thing that I was going to say basically goes to the end of the movie. So, when Thanos does a little, like, snappy thing and people just start disappearing, basically how I experienced it, I know a lot of people experienced it differently, but, basically the first few people I saw disappear, it like hit me. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, they're gone. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, a third person, then a fourth person. Then by the time like person number 8 was disappearing, I was like, well, this is dumb. Clearly they're coming back. Like, I feel like it ruined all of the suspense for me. If they would have done it, Barkley, I feel like it ruined so much of the suspense for me. Because basically, if they would have finger snap, you see like whoever it was, whether it would be Black Panther or Spider-Man, or you pick one or two people, you see them disappear, then you cut to like some other scene with Thanos, and then it just cuts off the movie. All of a sudden, that's insanely suspenseful, because killing off one superhero like that, well, I still probably wouldn't believe it, because...
Any of the new ones.
No, like, they've already have sequels confirmed for Spider-Man and Black Panther. Black Panther just made them how much money? They literally wouldn't kill him off even if it was like the biggest plot in the source material. Like, they won't do it. So, and then not only that, but everyone died. Like, literally other than the older Avengers. And I'm just like, not for a second was it believable for me. And I was like, okay, like, I understand they did a really good job of the filming and making it look super dramatic. But I was sitting there like, they're just going to undo this as soon as the next movie starts. Or that'll be the plot of the next movie. So I didn't like that. I felt like they made it way, way too blatantly obvious that the deaths aren't permanent. Where, again, we probably would have been leaning towards the fact that deaths weren't permanent anyway. But to just basically be like, oh no, these deaths really aren't permanent. Like, right in your face before it gives you less room to even try to imagine who might come. Like, they're coming back, so it's kind of, I don't know. That kind of ruined that scene for me.
I'm completely the opposite. Even when I saw them and I knew as soon as Black Panther went, I was like, no, there's no way. I literally said that out loud. And then I knew in my head that it couldn't be real, like that they wouldn't get rid of them, but I still felt like hurt. Especially, I think this is what put it over the edge, when Spider-Man started disappearing and he started like saying, no, I don't want to go, and he got all scared. Oh my gosh. I started crying so hard. I started crying really hard, and it was not a good cry. It was one of those cries where you try and keep it in, and it comes out anyway. I was sad for the entire rest of the night. So
even going into the next day.
Yeah. So even though I knew in my head it wasn't going to last, still seeing it kind of killed me on the inside. Just a little bit. And also, I guess props to the movie, because most movies, when they kill people, they still give you a hint at the end of the movie that they're coming back. This movie didn't do that.
I mean, it did, because they killed everyone. Like that's what
no,
I'm saying.
But I'm saying within the context of this movie universe, they didn't do that.
I mean, they didn't need to. Like,
each movie is its own separate experience.
I understand that, but even within that, just killing off that many, like I've heard some cool theories about what might happen next. Is in like the only ones to survive were the original Avengers, and coincidence or not, it seems like all those actors might not want to be in too many more movies. Mm-hmm. So all the ones that survive like sacrifice themselves to save the younger generation. Maybe Thor's might survive, but like if you look at like Iron Man and all those guys might not want to making too many more movies. Mm-hmm. Or want to be making too many more movies. Yeah. So I could definitely see like some like self-sacrifice thing to bring them back. So they might be able to tie it into a cool plot. I'm just gonna call this now. In the one part in the scene in the movie where Thor throws the axe at Thanos, and he's like, oh, you should aim for my head. If all they do is rewind the time and let him just throw it at his head, because they blatantly said that in the movie, I will be so disappointed, because that would be the most like basic way to just like whoop, reverse time, throw it in his head, everybody's okay.
No, that's obviously what's gonna happen, because that's the only way to kill Thanos. Get him in the head. And Thor's the only one who can get close.
I hope it's more creative. I hope they didn't just outline it like that. Like, I would love for it to be a little bit more.
I feel like that's the only way to kill him anyway, so you can't be mad if that's how they kill him.
Maybe, I don't know. But no, it was, the ending was, I don't want to say it was bad, it was still good, like the way they did it, but they could have made it,
it was so devastating.
Like, literally, if they would have not killed Spider-Man or Black Panther,
then I would have believed it. True.
Yeah, then it would have been at least part, because I feel like those are the two biggest money makers right now. And the other characters, a lot of people still really care about those other characters, so it could have been dramatic, it could have been really intense to not know what was going to happen next. But yeah, so I think it's going to wrap up our thoughts on the movie.
Yeah.
Definitely pay to go see this. I don't even think I need to ask your opinion on that. Definitely a pay to see.
Go see it.
Yeah. Our scales doesn't, as most movies, it really didn't hit anything on my scales. But I really liked it. It was a good movie. Despite the efforts of the people in the theater to ruin my experience, I did enjoy it. And
for my scale, scales are something we use if you have never seen a movie.
That's true.
And someone's saying, hey, let's go see this. If they have anything on these scales, you're automatically interested in watching it. Yeah. So mine is hot people, people of color, queer people, and women. And it had 3, just no queer people. Yeah, and mine is something related to Law, something related to Breaking Bad. Recently added if it has Tom Hardy in it. That's based, or if it has any of the people associated with the movie Pineapple Express. Since when was that a thing? Yeah, it's always been a thing. Don't question it. So it had none of those, but like it's still cool. Tom Hardy was in a trailer. He was in a trailer, so he was in the theater. So that makes it there. It hit something. Oh, got you. Oh, I can't wait for Venom. Alright, so yes, go to the comments, let us know what you think. I would love to see some unique opinions about it. Maybe somebody didn't like it. I haven't heard really any negative opinions yet. So, love to hear some different opinions about the movie. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye. Yes.